According to the FB, what is the premeditated, politically motivated attack against information, computer systems, computer programs, and data that results in violence against non-combatant targets by subnational groups or clandestine agents?
Good job. Your answer, cyber terrorism, works well here. According to his site partners, a cyber intelligence firm, in 2014, hackers from which country were spying on computers used in NATO and the European Union? Good thinking. Russia is the right answer. Which of the following refers to exploring the appropriate, ethical behaviors related to the online environment and digital media platform? You're right. Cyberethics is the correct answer. Under US law, a company can legally launch a defensive cyber attack against a sovereign nation after the company has been attacked. Perfect. The law is unclear is the correct choice.
What is the term used to describe the type of warfare that involves influencing elections and changing news through the internet?
Nicely done. Cyber warfare is a solid answer. What was the most prominent battlefield tactic used in Y that involved digging in and waiting for your opponent to charge? Great job. Trench warfare is the accurate answer. Any attempt to manipulate information in pursuit of a military or political goal is known as what? Great thinking. Information warfare is the right choice. A cyber attack by a sovereign nation that takes down a city power grid constitutes an act of war. On track. The law is unclear is the correct answer. What is the potential consequence of countries having cyber capabilities known to their enemies? Correct. Heightened global tensions is the right answer. The Joint Task Force representing components of all portions of the U.S. Armed Forces is the dash. Correct response. U.S. Cyber Command is the most accurate answer. What other battle was impacted by trench warfare and was one of the longest during World War? Valid point. The Battle of Verdun is true. What was the primary goal of the 2012 Chinese-backed cyber attack on oil and gas companies? Well picked. To gain strategic access for future operations is the correct answer. The use of chemical and biological warfare agents has been held largely in check since. Right again. World War I is a valid answer. What future aspect of cyber warfare is considered most likely according to the video? Bravo! Subtle psychological operations is the answer. What was the name given to the cyber weapon that targeted Iran's nuclear facilities? Smart pick. Stuxnet is the correct choice. What was a significant characteristic of cyber attacks before the Stuxnet incident? Well done. Basic and unsophisticated is the right choice. What was the primary goal of the cyber attack on Saudi Arabia's state oil company? Solid response. Wiping data from computers is a valid choice.
What does the term cyber deterrence refer to in the context of cyber warfare?
Well reasoned. Maintaining a balance of power through cyber threat potential is the correct choice. What is the main message conveyed by the video regarding interstellar warfare? Smart move. To stay out of intergalactic fun is an accurate answer. How do modern cyber warfare tactics primarily aim to impact enemy states? You chose psychological impact, and it is correct. What was a common characteristic of early cyber attacks before Stuxnet? Excellent choice. They were basic and unsophisticated is the right answer.
What was the effect of the war's technology on the style of fighting?
Sharp thinking. Made open warfare obsolete is the right choice. Which option is not a potential use of a zero-day exploit by hackers? You got it? Your choice creating educational content is right. Which one of these was not a negative effect of life in the trenches? Strong choice. The Christmas truce is the right answer.
What was the impact of the cyber attack on Ukrainian power stations?
Right choice. Temporary power outage is the best answer.
What made traditional open warfare impractical during this period?
Excellent. Advancement in technology is a brilliant choice. How did the shadow brokers affect the landscape of cyber warfare? Clear logic. Your choice by leaking sophisticated NASA cyber weapons is sound and 100% true. What is the future trend of cyber warfare according to the video? Oh. Nice work. You chose subtle psychological warfare and it is correct. What is a recommended action to protect against cyber attacks?
Nice selection. Update your software regularly is the correct and valid answer.
Chemical warfare agents include all of the following except. Exactly. Aerosols make sense and it is right choice. What was the first major battle impacted by trench warfare? Smart pick. The Battle of Marne is the correct choice. What was unique about the cyber weapon called Eternal Blue? Oh. Great job. It allowed widespread control of Windows systems is the accurate answer. What was the primary target of the Stuxnet cyber weapon? You got it? Your choice around nuclear facilities is right.
What is the name of the unrules of cyber engagement?
Excellent choice. Hague Conventions is the right answer. Which country is leading in cyber warfare? Correct. USA is the right answer. What are conventional weapons? Great thinking. Those with a high explosive warhead is the right choice. Can cyber attacks be traced? Valid point. Yes is true. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Strong choice. Contact Narayan Chengder is the right answer.